What up, peeps? Tony Baker here, back with another movie review. Sorry about my voice, it's kind of ashy. Had a long weekend of shows, so I'm kind of like, I gotta get my vocals back in fighting shape. I'm not changing into a werewolf on you, even though my voice is changing. Speaking of werewolves, The Wolfman is the movie we're reviewing right here, right now. The Wolfman. I always go back and forth on, would I rather be a werewolf or a vampire? That's my, I always pick werewolves because, a lot of people are going to go vampire just so you can stay young. And you can look young for 100 years. You don't age. But you're going to be pale. You ain't going to have no vitamin D. You're going to have a vitamin D deficiency. You ain't going to get no sun. You're going to be taking the pills. But the supplements, they going to mess with you. And then how you know you can even ingest the supplements? It's got to be blood, right? And you need the blood, and blood is unsanitary. It's just, you got to worry about that. And am I going to ingest what they have if they have something? You got to think about these things. And you can't go to a matinee. Breakfast, brunch is off the table. Your friends are brunching, you can't brunch. Especially in the East Coast. Brunch is a big deal. In D.C., yo girls, they gonna be like, we're gonna do brunch. It's like, yeah, I'll be asleep. So it's like, if you're gonna be a werewolf, you only wild out, once a month. When the moon is full, I'm wilding out, man. I don't even remember what happened. You killed somebody, you killed a couple hikers, but you didn't remember. So now you're going on about your day. This one night a week, you can lock yourself up. One night a month, you can lock yourself up, you good. So that's why I would always pick werewolf. And I don't know if I want to live forever. It's a long time. You're seeing everybody you love die off. You know what I'm saying? You're dating women not even a fraction of your age now. You know what I'm saying? I'm 436. I'm dating a 32-year-old. I'm going to feel weird about this. I dated your mom and your grandmother. Took them down. And now here you are. That's weird. It's creepy. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. The Wolfman is the latest movie. It involves a father who has a daughter and a wife. They live in the city. They live in San Francisco. And, growing up as a child, in Oregon, his dad was a hunter. And he was all about protect your family. You got to protect your family. Shaking his kids up. Okay, Dad, you're protecting us, and you're also hurting my shoulders. So they encountered this beast in the Oregon woods, and his father was very adamant about protecting his son, and you know what I'm saying. And the other hunters in the community knew about this, so it was just I gotta protect my son. His son was like, oh snap. So he was so overprotective that it created a distance between him and his son. So once he had a family of his own, he vowed to keep his temper in check and also just be a better parent to his daughter. And so you can tell they have a great relationship, but he's trying to keep that temper in check because he doesn't want to be like his father. And there's also a disconnect between him and his wife. His wife is played by Julie Garner, who you may know from Ozark. She's one of the standout characters on the show. I feel like that's one of the best shows that's come along in a long time. There's an estrangement there within their dynamic. And she feels like the daughter is closer to you than she is with me. So they got that little disconnect. So he's just he just got the papers that, his dad died. So he wants to go out there and just close things off, get that closure. And yo, come to Oregon with me. We can, work on this rift. We can just spend time together. And, it'll be great. It'll be beneficial. And the lead actor, he reminds me of Antonio Banderas a little bit. I was calling him Santonio Banderas the whole time. He's not exactly Antonio, but he was Antonio-esque. And his name is Christopher Abbott. I've never seen him before, but I was like, or if I did see him, I don't remember him. So I was like, Santonio Banderas. I'll just change the name up. They go out there and things don't go according to plan. They end up encountering a Wolfman situation, and he gets injured, and so he starts to turn into a Wolfman himself while his family is like, you're changing, Dad. And so that's the dynamic of the movie. That's what this movie is about. So the Wolfman, as opposed to werewolves always have a sad component to me. because it's a man that didn't sign up for this. Whether you go Wolf with Jack Nicholson, American Werewolf in London, the OG Wolfman from back in the day, he didn't sign up for this. So now you're essentially cursed with this, now you're a wolf man, and now you're out here, and you're killing people. You didn't ask for it. This is who you have become. So there's always a sad element there in these movies. And this one is no different. It's sad to me because it was like, he wanted to be a better dad than his father was for him. He wanted to have a better relationship. He really wanted to work on his family. And I'm like, man, you got to respect it. You know what I'm saying? So you feel for him and you feel for what he was trying to do, but then bam, you get scratched by a werewolf. Now you becoming one. It's gonna make everything awkward in the household. Your hair is coming out, your nails and flew off, you're losing teeth, your underbite is growing. It's just like, Dad, you're different. What's going on? And then it's just like, so to see him deteriorate into a wolf man, it was just like, damn, that's tough. So this movie kind of reminded me of The Fly more so than like other werewolf movies, because it was just like you just see it slowly happening and you see how his vision changes, and like he can't understand like what you're saying to him now. It's just like, and you can't understand him, so it's more physical, it's more primal. And just to see him just deteriorate like that, I was just like, damn, man, this is tough. So it was kind of a unique perspective a little bit. They kind of toned down he just a wolf man running through the city like, yark. I noticed that the critics weren't too kind to this movie. I avoided looking at the reviews because I wanted my own perspective. And the audience can be weird when it comes to like the horror genre. But for me, I thought it was solid. I thought Julie Garner's character was kind of just too rigid and stiff and just like, I don't know, she felt just kind of like one-notish a little bit. But when Antonio Banderas, and then, as he was changing, he started to look like different actors. Like he looked like Ray Liotta at a certain point because, Ray Liotta always had that skin. And it was like, he started to look, I was like, he looked like Ray Liotta now. So he went he transformed from Antonio Banderas, and then he transformed into like Ray Liotta, and then he started to look like Hugo Weaving. And I was just like, because Hugo Weaving has a certain head shape that really pops, and like he kind of has his jaw comes out a little bit on the bottom, so it's just like, yo, this is Hugo Weaving. This is incredible. They did this on purpose. He was changing into a wolf man, but he was also changing to different actors. I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed it. And I thought it was cool to see how a werewolf or wolf man sees. Like we would see how his vision looked. And I thought that was a cool element too. So overall, man, I thought it was solid. I was like, all right, this is a solid take on it. But it was sad though, man. I was just like, oh, come on, man. Forget all that. You want no smooth jazz review of the Wolfman. Well, here it is. Oh, yeah. I'm giving the Wolfman 3.5 saxophones out of 5, man. I think it was solid. The biggest knock on movies like this is I feel like they have to pull back on personality. And that's what I feel like was missing from it. Even though, the lead actor, Antonio Banderas, I felt what he was trying to do, it was just like, nah, we're gonna take out the elements of just like extra character, not necessarily likability, but just like an extra, that personality to where it's just like, yo, I rock with you. I feel like a lot of times in horror movies, they take that element out. I don't know if they do it on purpose or do they not want us to attach too much to these characters because bad shit is happening to them? I don't know, but I'm always missing that a lot of the times. And so I was like, man, it's got to still. But 3.5 saxophones ain't bad. But it just got me to thinking. I was just like, man, turn it into a wolf man. Now I might go back to vampire life. But that's long term. But I think werewolves live a long time too. I don't know necessarily if they are truly immortal. I feel like, I want to say this too before I turn around. This was the longest night of all time. The movie takes place in one time span of a night. I feel like this was the longest night I've ever seen. I feel like even when I came out the movie theater, it went from day to night and back to day. I was just like, God, how long is this night? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, peeps, that's my review of The Wolfman. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comment section below. Also, do you like the Wolfman movies? American Werewolf in London, Wolf with Jack Nicholson. Also, The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro. I watched that again like fairly recently. And also, let me know this. Would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here.